Hitit Üniversitesi'nizdesiniz değil mi?
Hitit'te devam.
Tamam.
İşte uzaktan eğitim olunca biraz
Hocam başladınız.
Öyle
Okay.
mi?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our online conference. Today is second day of our online conference. Now, now you are being in the hall İSTE, ISTE. Today we have 6 presentation in this session. I am Volkan Kılıçlı, the chairman of this session. I will try to moderate this session with help of yours. Before starting your speech, I would like to remember that all of your presentation recording for live broadcasting on YouTube. Particularly, I will request that please try to complete your presentation on time. The first speaker is Dr. Çetin Çakan Yıldırım from Hitit University. His presentation title, Boron Reserves in Turkey and Opportunities. Good morning, Dr. Çakan Yıldırım.
Good morning.
I will start to record our video now. If you are ready, we can start.
Yes, I'm ready. Could you see my screen?
Please share your screen.
Yes, I'm doing it.
I will accept.
Yeah, it's easier than I thought. Could you see my screen?
Yes, you can start your speech.
All right, I'm starting. Good morning, everyone. Today I will talk about boron reserves in Turkey and opportunities offered by it. I'm from Hitit University in Çorum, Turkey, and my colleague Metin Gürü is from Gazi University in Ankara. Today I will try to express you boron sources in Turkey and in the world, and the production area and consumption fields of boron reservoirs, field in which we consume the boron, energy application and role of boron. And if we talk about energy and boron, we have to mention hydrogen energy also. And I will try to complete all my speech. Boron mines are located in Midwest of Turkey. 4 states have rich reservoirs. Boron taken from earth crush as colemanite, tinkal. The other name of tinkal is borax and ulexite. In the world, the sources are generally in the United States of America, in the South America, and in Asia. In last decade, new mines were found in Serbia. These mines are the only sources of Europe. Glass production is the top one in boron consumption sector. Ceramic and agricultures are following it. Boron is an indispensable material for the industry. However, it is the minor component of the products. Yet small amount of boron addition changes the product property positively. Here, world boron consumption is demonstrated. Asia, North America, and Europe are the leading consumers. Boron is utilized in the glass industry, and it increases the heat, chemical, and shock resistance. Boron is also used in insulation type glass fibers, textile type glass fibers. Also, boron used in E, C, and D glass. I have to go faster because of the time limitation. I'm sorry. Boron also used in fiber optic cables, uh, and I'm making this presentation through fiber optic connection with the help of boron, of course. Other consumption field of the boron is ceramic and glazes. Boron is beneficial in this sector in melting, in coloring the ceramics. It decreases the cooking time, viscosity, and surface tension, and it helps the production in the thermal expansion behavior. Agriculture is another field. Boron can be used as fertilizer, and it can be used for pesticide control. It also necessary for some biological process happening in the plant cell. As I said before, because of the time limitation, I will go fastly for some application fields. I will just talk about the names. Additives is a field that we use boron, capacitor and batteries. Also detergent and cleaners, and in fire and smoke suppressors use boron widely. Halogenated or boron containing smoke and smoke suppressors are used in the industry. Zinc borate is the #1 product in this field. Boron used in insulation and in polymers, industrial fluids, and in lubricants, nuclear energy, and in oil and gas production. It is interesting. If you try to transfer oil or gas from the deep of the surface, you just pump the boron solutions into the soil, and it prevent the holes. It provide the holes to keep open, and it helps you to transfer oil and gas from deep of the surface to the daylight. Boron also used in wood production and metal industry, in construction and building materials. These are some studies made with boron. Boron is also used in army, in defense industry as armor production. And boron is also used in automobile, in the airbag system, and cement and concrete also. Another field of boron use is energy sector. You know, energy is everything in the world. Without energy, we can't do any business, any work. And if you watch the daily news, you can understand the importance of the energy. Boron components are able to store energy, especially hydrogen energy, safely and for a long time. Hydrogen can be taken out by thermal or catalytic route from boron components. It depends on the type of the boron structure. Hydrogen energy offers some advantages and may cause some problems. The main problem of hydrogen is storage. It's a very small molecule, and it's hard to suppress or cryogenic storage. If you detail this, hydrogen can be stored in two ways. One is physical storage. We can suppress hydrogen or liquidify, or cryogenic absorption can be applied. Another way is chemical storage techniques. In some chemical structures, we can store hydrogen. But if we try to take hydrogen back for physical storage, we have to apply physical techniques such as temperature and pressure changes or desorption mechanism. For chemical storage, we have to use chemical techniques and make reaction for the reaction we have to produce catalysts. One of the most known hydrogen storage material is sodium borohydride. Sodium borohydride has 10.8 weight percent hydrogen inside. But unfortunately, in the experimental studies, only 6.6% of the hydrogen can be taken out. And in the calculation, we exclude the reaction and tongue and piping's weight. Therefore, this weight ratio of the hydrogen should be, fall down. Another well-known hydrogen storage chemical material is ammonia borane. Ammonia borane has 19.5 weight% of hydrogen, but similarly, in the experiments, we only achieved 7.8 weight% of hydrogen, and this is free of the system weights. Resin borane is synthetic produced chemical to store hydrogen. Hydrazine and water mixture can release 6 moles of hydrogen, but in the experiments, the maximum value could be achieved for about 4.5 moles of hydrogen. The rest of hydrogen stays in the molecules as ammonia, or we couldn't take it from nitrogen. Nitrogen holds the hydrogen molecules strongly. It's hard to separate them. Till now, I all talk about hydrolysis, but we don't have to use just hydrolysis techniques. Alcolysis technique is also applicable. Methanol, ethanol, and other types of alcohols can be used to release hydrogen in the chemical structures. Using alcohol has some advantages. For example, recycle process is a little bit easy, and if you use alcohol, working temperature is not a problem. And during the experiment or during the hydrogen production, foaming is not a problem, and you don't need a stabilizer and so on. This is a mechanism we offered 3 years ago in a publication. It's too long to explain all the steps, but if anyone can check the details in the video later. And these are the list of our chemicals. You see we have many options, but if you are working with the chemicals, you have to react them. We generally produce catalysts to enhance the reaction, and catalysts are in the form of heterogeneous or homogeneous catalysts. Heterogeneous catalysts are produced on a support and easy to recycle. However, homogeneous catalysts are working in one phase, and it's not easy to separate the catalyzed structure and recycle them. This is the diagram we offered for the production sodium borohydride. We start to natural product of borax. It's taken from earth crush, and it's easy to produce boric acid with the help of the sulfuric acid. And if you react boric acid and methanol, trimethyl borate can be obtained, and with the trimethyl borane you can reach sodium borohydride. With the hydrolysis or methanolysis of the sodium borohydride, hydrogen can be produced, and the side product is sodium metaborate. Sodium metaborate is possible to turn back to react to borax, or similarly borax can be used to produce sodium borohydride. All the chemicals are linked to each other, and each of the reaction can be done easily. It's possible to the knowledge, to our knowledge. And these are some pictures of our catalyzed. These are some pictures. Top ones are the fresh catalyzed. 25 weight percent precursors including, and 40 weight percent precursors included, fresh ones and the used one. We see here in the used one there are wider and many holes. These holes are necessary to let the hydrogen out during the reaction. And these are EDS results. In the EDS result, we check if the precursors are steady on the surface of the supported catalyzed, and here we check the cobalt and we see it's okay, it's on the surface. And we also check the precursors position on the surface by EDS mapping. As you see, cobalt in the fresh and cobalt in the used catalyzed is steady and ready for the next reaction. This is 10 pictures. In the 10 pictures, it is important for us the size of the catalyzed particles. Here the ruler is 5 nanometer. And you can see the catalyzed particles are smaller than 5 nanometer. And I made a histogram. I couldn't put it on the slides, but I checked the dimensions of the catalyzed particles, and it was at about 3.5 nanometers. The smaller the catalyzed size, the wider area for the reactant and reaction become faster because of the extreme surface area and opportunity to happen the reaction. And finally, we may talk about the catalyzed types. One of the parameters in the catalyzed production is the precursors number in the catalyzed. Here we see only nickel, including titanium dioxide supported catalyzed. This is monocatalyzed, and we have B precursor catalyzed. B precursor catalyzed includes 2 precursor. Here you see cobalt and nickel is supported on alumina. And under the figures, I put the hydrogen generation rates. In this starting point, hydrogen generation rates is 235 milliliter hydrogen per minute per gram catalyzed. If we make true combinations and if we choose good support and good condition, we can increase the hydrogen generation rates. As you see, it's continuously increase, and finally, with the 3 metallic catalyzed we made from cobalt, iron, and ruthenium on titanium dioxide has hydrogen generation rate at about 10,500, approximately 50-fold more than the starting one. And if we try to conclude what we'll say till now, Boron is heterogeneously distributed in the world and in Turkey. And there are two main companies making production and mining on the world. And on the world, these main companies are US Borax and ETI Mine Company in Turkey. Although the production of boron sources is held by these two companies, the control of the prices is out of control. We said boron is used in many industrial fields, and producers are necessary to use boron, but they also has alternatives. They don't have to use boron. They can use different chemicals also, and this makes the prices cheaper. If you make the earnings of the income of the boron resources, we have to increase the boron products, and there we have to produce the derivatives of the boron. We have to produce new chemicals, new synthetic molecules of boron have to be synthesized, and this will increase the income. Boron also used in energy sector, and you know, most of the conflict and war on the war is about energy. Peoples are living to get more energy. Boron has chance to be used in this field, and researchers have great motivation to work on this area, and I think boron makes a great job in all of these fields, and we are lucky that we have most of the boron reserves in our country. I want to thank all the participants and for your nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Çetin. Thank you so much for nice presentation. I have no question. Audience, if you have a question, you can ask. Thank you so much, Dr. Çetin.
Question. Okay. If anyone has any question, please do not hesitate. My email address is on abstract book. You can anytime,
Okay.
any question. I'm waiting.
They can contact you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, in this session, second presentation, comparison of technology citizens and technology immigrants information security awareness. Miss Özlem will present. Miss Özlem, are you ready? Can you hear me, Miss Özlem? We have to wait, Miss Özlem. Third presenter is Tunahan, Mr. Tunahan. He is not in this session. Özlem is coming. It's try to join in.
colleague Metin Reis from Gazi University.
Okay, good morning, Özlem. Good morning, Özlem. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
If you are ready, you can present your presentation. Please share your screen.
Okay, can we do it from the video because I have a low connection? Is
Okay,
it possible?
but we have no video. We haven't got your video. You can start your computer.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, I will see your screen. We will see your screen now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my name is Özlem Evre, and I am going to explain my study, Comparison of Technology Citizens and Technology Immigrants, Information Security Awareness. This is the outline of my study. First of all, I'm going to explain the introduction, then research study, research methodology, survey findings, awareness training, and a conclusion. As an introduction, internet connected life is increasing day by day. So the increase in the number of transactions, increase interest in social media, and increases the interest of cyber attacks, and so on. There are many things are increased in the internet day. And we need to identify all the people and systems, verification of identity, and personal security. In our research study, issues of the adaptation to information security awareness and information security management systems were investigated. And this investigation is done for teenagers who are born in technology and older adults who migrate technology. And for this study, we have a security survey, and it is prepared by me. And as a research methodology, first of all, we make a comprehensive subject research. Then we examine the literature, and the information security awareness survey is done. Then with this survey, we measure the results and we share them. At the end, with respect to these results, we find the differences and the similarities between two groups. And we find the topics to educate them. And for our survey, an information security awareness survey consisting of 20 questions, and this one is applied to 150 people. 75 of them is from 15 to 20 age group, and the other 75 of them is from 55 to 70 age group. And information security awareness were measured with the survey, and the results again shared. As a findings, in the survey conducted to measure the information security awareness between technology citizens and immigrants, it was observed that there were significant differences between two groups in some questions. And these differences are, first of all, using the virus protection. And while answering the question about using the virus protection and system security, as you can see from table 1, 85% of people born to technology stated that they strongly agree. But on the other hand, technology immigrants with a ratio of 56% stated that they absolutely do not agree. And this is the graphical representation of the table. And the next one is checking the privacy and security of the online shopping sites and then shopping. And table 2 shows the distribution of the aware answers given to question about checking the privacy and reliability of online shopping sites and then shopping. According to this table, 93% of young people born to technology stated that they always check their privacy and reliability, while shopping online, on the other hand, 54% of technology immigrants stated they never control it. And this is the graphical representation of this question. And next one is not sharing publicly on the internet, limiting sharing. As you can see from table 3, 95% of those born to technology always answer the question about not sharing publicly on the internet and limiting sharing, while 46% of technology immigrants answered never. And the graphical representation of table 3 is as follows. And our next question is scanning for viruses before using external devices such as USB. And table 4 shows the distribution of the answers given to the questions about use of the external devices. 65% of those born to technology related to external devices controls. I totally agree. They have done virus scan. But 51 of the technology immigrants strongly disagree and do not scan for viruses. And this one is the graphical representation of that question. And the next one is using license program. And as stated table 5, 86% of those born to technology fully agree with the questions about using license program. They say they use license programs, while 58% of older adults strongly disagree and do not pay attention to the use of license programs. And this is the graphical representation of license program, using license program. And acting according to the information security policies, 75 of those born into technology stated that they completely agree that they act in accordance with information security policies. And technology immigrants stated that they strongly disagree, do not pay attention to policies. And with these results, we stated that the awareness trainings for older adults must contain not connecting to the public, free wireless internet. These are the topics for older adult trainings: clearing cookies after using the internet, using a virus protection, checking the privacy and reliability of online shopping sites, and then shopping. Not sharing publicly on internet, limiting the sharing, scanning for viruses before using external devices such as USB, paying attention to using license program, and learning information security policies and acting accordingly. And for the training for young adults, the training must contain reading privacy policies on the website or social media, checking links before clicking, and sharing company or corporate data, photos, and videos. And as a result, older adults have been observed to be less careless about shopping online than younger adults due to their ordinary behavior, suspicious point of view, technology. Young adults seems to place less emphasis on sharing company or corporate data, photos, and videos than older adults due to freedom, desire to link, or more visible reasons. On the most common attacks on young adults is through social media. In this study, they sometimes answer the question, they read privacy policies on the websites or social media with a rate of 31%. In order to prevent cyberbullying and to raise awareness, young adults should be taught about the importance they should give to privacy, especially on social media platforms that are accessible to everyone. As a result of the study, it has been seen that there are points where technology citizens and technology immigrants overlap and diverge. The result of the both group will guide the studies or trainings to increase awareness of information security by means of points determined to be emphasized. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Özlem.
Welcome.
Dear audience, if you have any question, you can ask. Okay, there is no question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we are going fast. Our third presentation title is Image Captioning in Turkish Language. Tunahan Kunt will present the title of Image Captioning in Turkish Language. Hello, Tunahan. Good morning. Can you hear me, Tunahan? Tunahan, can you hear me? Tunahan? I can't hear you, Tunahan. I can't hear. Nobody hear you. Check your microphone, please. Tunahan, please check your microphone. No voice. We are seeing you, but no voice. We are seeing you, but no voice.
Could you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
I was right.
Good morning. Good morning,
Really-
Tunahan. Before
Thank you.
starting your speech, please briefly introduce yourself and share your screen, and
Okay.
you can start your presentation.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can hear you. Okay.
I was right. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Tunahan Kunt. I work in TÜBİTAK Bilgem as a researcher, and I'm a master student in Gazi University, Faculty of Technology at the Department of the Computer Engineering. And today I would like to present the image captioning in Turkish language. Is my voice is coming?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. The plan of this talk today, I will first give you a brief information about the image captioning. I am going to tell you what's image captioning and how it will affect our lives. Then I will talk about the data set and the model of this study. Then I will talk about the experiments of this study. Then the conclusion. So the problem of creating a description from images, in other words, the problem of image captioning, located at the intersection of the computer vision and natural language processing, and it is one of the areas on which deep learning models are studied. But what is the image captioning? Image captioning is the problem of generating a sentence or expression that explains the content of the image automatically without human assistance for an image at hand. In the solution of this problem, the target is producing a better explanation than the explanations that human can create. But when can machines produce a more accurate explanation than humans? The answer is when machines are able to generate an explanation that can summarize remarkable content from the images at hand. In image captioning, generating description can include existing objects, attributes of the objects, or relationships of the objects to each other. Identifying remarkable content requires not only identifying the object in an image, the connections between the objects or relationships of the object to each other, but also inferring the message in the image is trying to convey in general, or what aspects of the image might be interesting. Before going on deep, we must first understand how important this problem is to real-world scenarios and how it will affect our lives. Let's see a few applications where a solution to this problem can be very useful. The first one is self-driving cars. Automatic driving is one of the biggest challenges, and if we can properly caption the scene around the car, it can give a boost to the self-driving system. The second one is the aid to the blind. We can create a product for the blind, which will guide them traveling on the road without the support of anyone else. We can do this by first converting the scene into the text, then text to the voice. The third one is the CCTV cameras are everywhere today. But along with viewing the world, if we can also generate relevant captions, then we can raise alarms as soon as there is some malicious activity or going on somewhere. This could probably help reduce some crime or accidents. Apart from these benefits, there is no doubt that the development of the system will have different benefits which are currently unpredictable. With the advances in deep learning, many different image captioning approaches have been developed. But basically, studies in the literature can be compared to the neural machine translation problem in a way. For this reason, second-to-second models with an encoder-decoder structure are frequently used in the solution of the image captioning problem, as in the neural machine translation problem. In these studies, the image is encoded by passing through the convolutional neural network, uh, and the description of the image is produced using recurrent neural network. When these studies in the literature are examined, the number of image captioning studies using Turkish language is very low. In this context, the success scores of the developed models has not been adequately measured so for head final language such as Turkish. This has been the main motivation for this study. In other words, it's aimed to measure the success rates of the model created by the combination of the special approach to the Turkish and deep learning models that have already been developed. The dataset named Tasviret was used in the study. It was created by the collecting Turkish explanations for the image in the image set called Flickr 8K in the Tasviret dataset. There are total 8,091 images in the dataset used, and there are total 12,222 explanations for these images. In this study, the encoder-decoder-based image captioning model was studied. In this model, convolutional neural network and recurrent neural network are used as encoders. The convolutional neural network converts the images entering the system into image vector and they extract their attributes and act as an encoder. The recurrent neural network also encodes every word that enters the training into the pixel size vector. At this point, the recurrent neural network is not exposed to the image vector or vector generated from the image vector at any stage of the model. Instead, after each word entering the system is encoded by the RNN, the image vector containing the image attributes is merged to the language model. In other words, every word and image entering to the model is encoded in separate channels and transformed into a vectorial view. Then these two vectors are combined. In this way, the image representation has not changed in each step. It is evaluated in its most correct form. In the model, the network architecture named Inception version 3 is used as a CNN and long short-term memory LSTM architecture is used as a RNN. Here, unlike the other studies, the words were separated into their roots and entered into the model before the words were provided to the model as input, since Turkish is head final language. With this, it's aimed to limit the number of words can be entered into the system. For example, if two different expressions in English, such as apple and my apple, are entered into the system, the word apple will have been entered into the system twice. However, in Turkish language, these words depicted as elma and elmam. In other words, in image captioning study done in Turkish language, the word apple will have entered into the model in two different forms in these two sample datasets. Thus, the accuracy of the model will be very low. However, when the rooted form of the words enters to the model, similar words will enter the system as the English. Here, after entering the rooted form of the words into the system, a situation that can be considered as one of the most important stages of the study comes into play. In the created model, the entire description of the image does not enter the LSTM layer. In other words, with the developed model, the next word in the explanation is tried to be predicted dynamically. That is, the first two words and image vector are input to the model to predict the third word of the explanation, while the first five words and image vector for the sixth word are input to the model. While the model completes its learning with this method in the training phase, explanations are created in the same way during the test phase. You can see the table to understand what I mean. The results. Before going on the results, Keras API was used for the implementation of the model. During the training and testing of the model, NVIDIA 1060 GTX graphic card was used. During the study, the hyperparameter optimization study was conducted with a series of the experiments in order to obtain the most successful result. According to the results obtained has a higher score than the other studies in this field, with the 0.40 blue 1 score. Can we, if we look to the other scores, for example, Samet et al. In their study, due to the low number of the data in the TASVERET dataset, they completed their work by translating the English explanations in the dataset named MS Coco and Flickr 30K using Google Translate API and obtained a 0.34 blue 1 score. Also, Kuya et al. As in Samet et al., due to the low number of data in the TASVERET dataset, completed their study using the Google Translate API and translate the English words to the Turkish. And they also obtained a score of 0.30 blue 1 score. In addition to these results, when our own outputs are examined, it was observed that the model was weak in forming numerical explanations. But at the object detection point, for example, dog, man, etc., it has been observed to be successful. In this study, the model for the problem of the image caption in Turkish language is proposed. The proposed model consists of the combination of the CNN network and RNN network. Due to the structure of the Turkish language, words are trained by separating them into their roots. The score obtained as a result of the study was placed above all of the studies. Higher success rates are possible with larger datasets that can be newly created in the future. Also, it is aimed to achieve a higher success rates by adding attention executive mechanism to the model in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tunahan, for your nice presentation. Dear audience, any question for Tunahan? Okay, thank you so much. Now, Mr. Ömer Mercimek will present his presentation, Strengthening of Columns with different innovative composite materials for RC buildings without sufficient earthquake resistance. Are you ready, Mr. Ömer Mercimek?
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but your videos, your camera is not good. There is a problem in your camera.
Yes, let me.
I would like to remember that we are live on YouTube. All presentations are recording for live broadcasting.
Sorry.
Mr. Ömer, there is no problem. You can close your video.
Okay.
You can close your camera. Okay. There is a
Sorry.
problem on your camera.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Rahim. My friend Ömer have some internet connection problem.
Please share your screen before starting. Please share your screen. Okay, we are seeing your screen. You can start your speech. Please briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Rahim. My friend and my coworker Ömer have some internet connection problems, so I'm going to present this study and to all. Sorry. Our study is about the staging of the columns with different innovative composite material for RC beam building without sufficient earthquake resistance. The authors Ömer Mercimek, Rahim Kurubi, Anıl Özdemir, and Özgür Anıl. The purpose of this study is the scope of the study with two different types of innovative composite material and experimental studies plan to strange the column without sufficient earthquake performance by using carbon fiber reinforced polymers, which is named CFRP, strips, and textile reinforced mortar layers, which named TRM. The variables examined between the horizon of this study are the type of a composite material used for stringing strips wide and whether or not the anchor is used at the strips overlap points or not. A total of 9 column test specimens, which are the reference test specimens without stringing, and 8 RC column test specimens that stringed with two different types of a composite material were produced and tested under the effect of axial loading. According to the test results, the load displacement behavior, ultimate load capacity, initial stiffness values, displacement to failure ratio, and energy dissipation capacity were evaluated. It was also examined which of the two different composite materials used for stringing of the RC columns are more effective in improving the performance of the columns. In this table, in these two tables, you can see two types of stringing material which is used in this study. One of them is CFRP and the other is TRM. You can see the properties of both of them, the thickness, tensile strength, elastic module, ultimate tensile strength, properties of epoxy, which is, as you know, the CFRP is for adhering to the and making the bond for the our specimens need to be adhered, and for that we are using some epoxy, which the properties of them are right in this table. And the, for TRM, you can see all the other properties in the table 2. Before we tested the specimens, we must ready the columns for that. Before we adhere the CFRPs or TRM to the short column, we must grinding the surface and clean it, and then brush the surface and remark the places which is going to anchor, and the CFRP strips or the TRM strip is going to adhere to the surface. After that, we mix it the epoxy resin, which is 4:1, and then adhere the CFRP strip to the surface. For TRM, we are using another composite material, which the information is about that is said in table 2. You can see in the left and side, you can see the anchor properties. It's about 80 millimeter to 100 millimeter, and we use the rod is about 10 15 to 50 to 15 millimeter. The 9 specimen which is used in this study, which is done in the study, are in the table 3. We have one reference test specimen. From 2 to 5 is reinforced by CFRP, and from 6 to 9 is reinforced by TRM. And some of them have an anchor, and the others are not. In this figure, you can see the specimen. Specimen 2 and 6 have the same shape of reinforcement, but one of them is down reinforced by CFRP and the other with theorem. Displacement 3 and 7, displacement 4 and 8, and 5 and 9, which is displacement 4 and 8 and displacement 5 and 9 have an anchor. You can see here the test setup. In this test setup, we have a 2 potentiometer, which show that how much our specimen is going to shorten, and the strain gauges, which show the strains, which is how much the strain it can carry. In this table, in these figures, the load displacement graph of the test specimen are shown. In the left side, you can see the test specimen which is reinforced by CFRT, and the right side you can see the test specimen which is strange with theorem. If you compare these both figures together, you can see the specimen which have a which strange with the theorem have much more sorry have absorb much more energy than the CFRPs. But at the same time, the specimens which are reinforced with the CFRPs are having ultimate load much more than the theorem. You can see here the failure modes of the both CFRP and theorem, which this specimen 1 is not reinforced, specimen 2 to 5 is reinforced, but CFRP, and specimen 6 to 9 is reinforced but by theorem. In this table, you can see the experiment results. For example, if we compare the ultimate axial load capacity of a specimen 1, which is not reinforced and have no anchor, is about 422 kilonewtons. But for specimen 5, which is reinforced with CFRP and have an anchor, is about 833, and for 9 specimen, which is reinforced by theorem, is about 752. For displacement at ultimate axial load, it is for specimen 1 is about 17, and for specimen 5 is about 7 millimeter, and for specimen 9 is about 9 millimeter. For stiffness, in initial stiffness, for test specimen, reference test specimen 1 is about 72, for specimen 5 is about 175, and for specimen 9 is about 144. For displacement ductility ratio, for test specimen, reference test specimen 1 is about 1.51, for specimen 5 is about 1.49, and for specimen 9, which is reinforced by theorem, is about 1.37. Energy dissipation capacity for specimen 1 is about 3,749. For specimen 5 is about 6,929, and for specimen 9, which is reinforced by theorem, you can see is about 265. For energy dissipation capacity, you can see that the theorem, the reinforced, the specimen which is reinforced by theorem, have a much more energy dissipation capacity from the specimen which is reinforced by CFRP. But this displacement ductility ratio, initial stiffness, and the displacement at ultimate axial load and ultimate axial load capacities in the specimen which is reinforced by the CFRP is much more than the specimen which is reinforced by theorem. In conclusion, we can say that this study has shown that the stringing methods developed by applying different types of composite materials can be used to improve the performance of a column under the influence of axial loading, which are the most important components of a bearing system of reinforced concrete structure, which is in this study is the columns. These two stringing methods increase sufficiently the maximum load carrying capacity, initial rigidity, and energy consumption capacity of insufficient capacity reinforced concrete columns under the effect of axial loading, which was not designed according to the regulation or the code. These two methods also did not reduce the displacement of data ratio and improve their general load displacement behavior and performance. The technique of wrapping with CFR strips is slightly better than and has a much better performance than the wrapping technique with theorem strips. Thank you for listening. Also, I want to add some thing. Maybe you want to ask why we use from theorem and CFRP in this study, because the CFRP is much higher value than the theorem, and because of that we are trying to change our column with theorem, and you can see we have a good result in this study. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Ömer. Dear audience, any question regarding presentation? I have one question. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
How did you calculate the energy dissipation capacity of your samples?
The energy dissipation for I want to back.
Can you see the table? Energy dissipation capacity.
In energy dissipation capacity, we are going to divide the ultimate load to the displacement.
Divide or multiply? Divide or multiply?
Multiply. No, divided. The higher the load value, multiply the ultimate load capacity to the displacement.
Okay. Thank you so much. Dear audience, we are going fast. Thank you, Ömer. You can stop your sharing your screen.
Thank you to listening me.
Thank you so much. Dear audience, we are going fast. Probably we will complete this session earlier. Mr. Thomas Kaladze is not here in this session. We can shift another presentation. Professor Sencer İmer. Sencer İmer is here now. We can shift his presentation. The political historical background of the technology policies in Taiwan. Okay. We are going so fast. We have to wait or we have to shift another presentation. Dear audience, please wait a few minutes. Dear audience, we have to wait presentation time. And now we have to wait 11:30. Next presentation is 11 is the time of the next presentation is 11:30. We have to wait 11:30. I am so sorry. Our program is so fast. You can leave or you can stay in the session, but we have to wait 11:30. I'm so sorry. Hi again. We are waiting Mr. Tamas Kaladze, but he is not in here in this session. We can shift another presentation. Professor Sencer Imer is here. Good morning, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Good morning.
Morning, morning, morning. You are the chairing?
Sorry?
Are you chairing
Yes,
the
I am the
session?
chairman of this session. My name is Volkan.
Amen. Okay.
If you are ready, we can. If you are ready, you can start your speech.
Yes, I'm ready.
Just,
Okay.
just share your screen.
Yeah. How long do I have time? To 30 minutes or 25 minutes or less?
Sorry, again, please.
How many minutes? How many minutes do I have?
30 minutes you have.
And the questions, do you have time for it also?
No, extra. We have extra time for question.
You have extra time for it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now we have 5 audience on YouTube. We are online. We are live broadcasting on YouTube, and 4 audience in the Zoom.
Yes.
Total
Okay.
10 audience you are listening.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Can I start?
Yes, you can start, please.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I will speak about the development of technology in Taiwan, which is a very important example, and also its relation to the political background, how it has been decided and how this development has come like it is. For that reason, the title of my speech is The Political Historical Background of Technology Policies in Taiwan. If you see the development in Taiwan, you should, of course, know about the Chinese history a little bit. China became a republic at the beginning of the 20th century, Sun Yat-sen, and after Sun Yat-sen, Marshal Chiang Kai-shek, at that time, of course, not Marshal Chiang Kai-shek became the leader of the Kuomintang party and became the president of the China, or whole China. And he was in this position since 1927 until 1949. He left the war against Mao Zedong, the Communist Party. And then he left China and he went with the people who were with him to Taiwan. Taiwan is a Chinese island. Han Chinese are living there, and with him, roughly 1.5 million Chinese went to Taiwan. At the end of the Second World War, the victorious powers like United States, United Kingdom, Soviet Union, and also China against the Japanese, they succeeded. They were allies, and France also. And these countries founded with others United Nations. United Nations came in life in 1946 at the beginning, and China was represented by Taiwan, not by the Communist Party of China. And that has continued from this 1945 until 1971. That means 25 years Taiwan has represented whole China in the United Nations, in the Security Council of the United Nations, the powerful part of the United Nations with veto right, like the United States and Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and France. But during that time, United States was engaged first in Korea War, later on where Turkey was also with the United States at this war, as you remember, and secondly in the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was at the end not successful for the United States and for South Vietnam. So the North Vietnam has got the victory. Of course, with the help of China, People's Republic of China, and Soviet Union, also some other communist countries. So United States has decided to withdraw its forces from Vietnam. All these things are happened in the time as United Nations Security Council and United Nations General Assembly decided to give the seat of China to People's Republic of China instead of Taiwan. That happened 1971, 26th of October. At that time, Marshal Chiang Kai-shek was president, still president of Taiwan. You can imagine how he felt, because he was representing the whole China with his ideology against communism, and he fought also with United States together with South Vietnam against the North. The result was he was, after the explanation of the decision of the United Nations Security Council, they have expelled, but it is not true, it is not expelled. Taiwan says we are still there, but we are represented by People's Republic of China in the National Security Council. That was from a speech of President Mo 2016. But the reality is Taiwan has lost the right to represent with veto rights in the Security Council of the United Nations. So degraded, if you want. And at the same time, they quitted from the United Nations. Some people say they didn't quit, they are still there, but the reality is Taiwan is not in the United Nations. And that is a big problem for Taiwan to be accepted by other countries diplomatically. Only at the moment, 15 countries are accepting Taiwan diplomatically. These are small states in Central Africa and Central America, and also some island states. Now you can understand how Marshal Chiang Kai-shek has felt at that moment. He thought, we are lost, we are degraded, we have to find a new way. Marshal Chiang Kai-shek was born 1887. So like our leader Kemal Atatürk, probably 6 years older, younger, 6 years younger. And he died 1975. So he was president of Taiwan after 4 elections, 1954, 60, 66, 72, until 76, he was his duration, and 75, he died. In that time, he thought, and the people around him thought in Taiwan, we have to find a new way to be accepted in the world. That means we have to find a new strategy, a new vision, and also new mission. This new vision and this new mission was developing of knowledge-based technologies, and based on that, the developing of Taiwan's economy to a world important economy. That was the goal. And this goal has been planned, organized, and realized. We can see here how political changes sometimes may be bad for some country, can reach positive results for them also. We have in Islam such a saying, some worse things can create some good things also. That is some good thing which has happened after that. Marshal Chiang Kai-shek has decided this knowledge-based technology building with the building of the ITRI, Industrial Technological Research Institute. This ITRI, I will say shortly about ITRI something, if I may, just a moment, is founded, the ITRI, is a non-profit R&D organization engaging in applied research and technical services, founded in 1973. Just after these decisions, this ITRI has founded. ITRI has played a vital role in transforming Taiwan's economy from a labor-intensive industry to a high-tech industry. You can see here, after losing the seat in the Security Council, a new policy has started, and ITRI is one important point in the life of Taiwan. If you look at Taiwan's the surface, we see it is so big like the province Konya in Turkey, the same roughly, or so big like Netherlands in Europe. Population is 24 million roughly, but the national income is roughly $600 billion real. And if you look at the export, import, that these values are from the time 2018. The export is $336 billion export. That is double as Turkey. And import is 286. That means $50 billion surplus. And if we calculate these export to the national income, we see export divided by GDP. We see in Taiwan, this is 57%. That means from 100 workers in Taiwan, 57 are living from export. In Germany, for example, this value is 39% for the same year. USA is 12% only. Turkey is 22%, I'm rounding. And People's Republic of China in the same year is 18%. You can see Taiwan is an export-oriented country. And this is only possible with institutions like ITRI, and I will come to the other point, the science parks, Hsinchu Science Park, the first one. That means this plan to be degraded by losing of the seat in National Security Council, United Nations, has brought interesting changes in the behavior of Taiwan. Probably I have to read the decision of the United Nations Security Council decision, only the parts how it is expressed at that time about Taiwan. That is 2758, restoration of the lawful rights of the People's Republic of China in the United Nations. That is the title. And the part which is important is decides to restore all its rights to the People's Republic of China and to recognize its representatives of its government as the only legitimate representative of China to the United Nations, and to expel forthwith the representatives of Chiang Kai-shek from the place which they unlawfully occupy at the United Nations in all organizations related to it. Very clear, degraded. But they quit after this decision of United Nations Security Council. And I think that was a wrong decision, if you want. They may stay in the General Assembly. They can lose the seat in the United Nations Security Council, but they could stay in the General Assembly of United Nations. Now they are trying to enter as Taiwan in the United Nations General Assembly, but China is saying we are representing Taiwan because Taiwan is one part of us, they say. So if we see these, we can understand the reaction of Marshal Chiang Kai-shek, why he founded this new strategy, like the founding of ITRI. In ITRI, it is a world-leading applied technology research institute with more than 6,000 outstanding employees. Its mission is to drive industrial development, create economic value, and enhance just a moment. Yes. Social well-being through technology, R&D, and it pioneered IC development and started new technological ventures and deliver its R&D results to industries. ITRI has set up and incubated over 280 companies, including very important companies which everyone knows, like TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, UMC, Taiwan Mask Corporation, Mineral Automatic Corporation, Taiwan Biomaterial Company. ITRI is dedicated to creating new values and identifying emerging demands for partners while facing global challenges and opportunities such as urbanization, aging society, new production and consumption patterns, climate change caused by global warming and post-COVID-19 area. And for the 2030 technology policies, they have three weight areas like smart living, quality health, and sustainable environment. As you can see, everything is made for not military, for the private sector, for the civil sector. In smart living, I see in smart living, probably I can say personalized devices and services, autonomous mobility, smart industry and services. These are the goals. Quality health, smart medical, in which we are cooperating as Turkey also with Taiwan. smart healthcare, also this is an important area, sustainable environment, circular economy, intelligent manufacturing, green energy, and environment. ICT is enabling the technologies like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, communications, cybersecurity, and cloud. Now I come to the Hsinchu Science Park. Also at the time of Chiang Kai-shek started, but built at the time of his son, Chiang, 1980. But the preparation has started 1973, just after this United Nations Security Council decision or plenary decision. The Hsinchu Science Park is an industrial park established by the government of Taiwan on 15 December 1980, but the work has started earlier. The idea was proposed by Xu, but in reality, the idea generally started from Chiang Kai-shek government at that time. And Professor Xu was the president of the National Tsinghua University, very important university in collaboration with Hsinchu Science Park, and Minister for Science and Technology. They wanted to build a new Silicon Valley. I mean, the model was the Silicon Valley in California. As you know, it is close to Stanford University as the basis and the University of California, Berkeley. This idea has been accepted and tried to be realized. Now, other point is the former finance minister Lee, I think he contributed also to the development of the Hsinchu Science Park. He ordered by the President Chiang, he is the son of Chiang Kai-shek. He ruled until the 87, I think. Yes, 87. Inspired by the Silicon Valley, as consultant, they engaged Friedrich Terman and how Taiwan could follow this example. And Lee convinced talents who gone abroad from Taiwan to build companies in this Silicon Valley, but he wanted to bring them back in Taiwan in the new Silicon Valley. Among those people who returned Taiwan was, for example, the Morris Chang, who later president of ITRI, founded this famous company, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Lee also, this former finance minister of Taiwan, introduced the concept of venture capital to the country to attract funds to finance high-tech startups in Taiwan. 400 high-tech companies involved the semiconductor, computer, telecommunication, optoelectronics, and industries have been realized. And these companies are creating this more added value. So far I know, only Hsinchu Science Park's turnover in 1 year is roughly $40 billion. And all these companies creating 10% of the gross domestic product of Taiwan after the values of 2007, which I have. And the next door to the science park as the basis of the human resources are these two famous universities, National Chiao Tung University and National Tsinghua University. Also, the National Space Organization is also in the same area. So this science park, Hsinchu Science Park, has 6 localities in the area in the north of Taiwan, And then in the middle of Taiwan, in Taichung, there is Science Park Taichung, and in the south, Tainan, there is this other center for the science park. And they are specialized on some areas like Hsinchu Science Park, semiconductors and optoelectronics, PC production, and Taichung in the middle, this science park for precision machinery and optoelectronics, and South Taiwan for medical devices and green energy. We can see that state has organized the private initiative very well, and the result is just as I've said at the beginning. Taiwan is an export country with roughly $25,000 per capita income. And if we make, for example, the calculation, $600 billion with 24, in order to make it easy, 20 say it, and mainland China has a population of 1,400 million. That is roughly 70 times more. And if you multiply it, if mainland China would have the same level, in that case, that you have to multiply the income of Taiwan with 70. That makes $42 trillion. That is double than the United States has today. That means Taiwan has made a very big challenge and very big development in this, with this conception. And also Deng Xiaoping, after Mao, as he became the president also, or the leading person of mainland China, he decided and he said, not the color of the cat is important. Important is the cat can catch mouse. I think this explained the changes also in China's economical and development and technological policies. They have taken the same way like Taiwan. And Taiwan has contributed also to the development of China, like other investor countries from the West, like United States, Germany, or other countries. And so far I know, at the moment, $150 billion investment in mainland China is made by Taiwanese companies, and roughly 80,000 companies are created by Taiwanese. That means a lot of technological transfer after the decision of Deng Xiaoping in China has come from Taiwan, also from other Western countries. And that has contributed to the development of mainland China, People's Republic of China. You can see these historical evaluation of the situation in Taiwan has a big influence also in the world. Taiwan has, if it is small, that means important is not to be small. That means 20 million inhabitants to have, or a country to have like our province Konya, or like Netherlands, is not so important. Important is what you do with your human capital. And this human capital example is very successful in Taiwan after this decision of United Nations Security Council expellation. And that means we have to have hope for all countries which are in developing to go the same way. Now, if we look at the so-called medium and high-tech products in the exports as a portion, after the values of Taiwan for the year 2018, it is 27.9%. That is 28%. 28% of the exports are high added value products. But the portion in Turkey, if I compare, it is only 2.3%. So that means we have a long way to go and to learn from this Taiwanese example. But not only we, a lot of other countries who are trying to develop high-tech technologies and new economy, if you want, they have learned and they have taken Taiwan as an example. For example, Singapore, for example, Malaysia, for example, Indonesia, Thailand, all the countries in the Southeast, Vietnam also, and India. There are big corporations among these countries. That means we have to get the important result from this historical background. That means it is not important if a country has a small and has less inhabitants as the others, but this country can be also powerful, useful, and contribute to the development of its people and to the people in the world. I think that is a very important lesson which we have to learn from this example. Nothing is happens without planning and without taking examples. In that case, I think we have to congratulate Taiwanese people and their leaders and their state and organizations and private people that they could make this big success to a reality and make Taiwan again an important partner for the other countries. But they should also be a member in the international organizations, like, for example, World Health Organization. So, for example, if you look at the pandemics now, I think one of the best countries in pandemic fight was Taiwan. After breaking out the pandemics in Taiwan until today, so far I know, cases are only roughly 480 or 500, and death is only 7. And I think they came to the normal life very successfully. And I think all these things are not without planning and without using the human potential. And I hope all countries can learn from this lesson. Thank you very much that you have heard me.
Thank you so much, Professor Sencer. Thank you so much for informative talking regarding historical background and development of Taiwan. Dear audience, any question? Okay. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. You mentioned that Taiwan has a double export capacity of Turkey.
Right.
But the population of Taiwan, 1/3 of Turkey, correct?
1/4.
Country.
1/4. Yes.
What is the secret of increasing exportation?
I think all my speech was based on that.
We know the importance of R&D. We know the importance of education. Is there any secret?
The secret is, I think, the corporation, successful corporation, creating an organization like ITRI, for example, and science parks like Hsinchu as an example first, and then later on, that's an example is Silicon Valley, of course, and then the others, Taichung and Tainan science parks. The science parks is the backbone of the Taiwanese economy, high-tech economy. Of course, they have traditional industries like steel industry, for example, also textile industry, petrochemical industry, and so on. But beside that, the other development the high-tech industry development. As you can see in the exports, roughly 30% is high-tech products. And this value is in the United States, for example, 18%. In Germany, 16 to 17% for the same year. Mainland China is also 30, but a lot of Taiwanese companies, I have told, 80,000, a lot of Western countries also, creating also added values in China with the investments which they have made there. That means also China's development is based there. That means foreign capital is in that case, is very important, and also foreign technology-based knowledge is also very important. You have to adapt it so quick you can, and your people, I think one of the important secrets, your people which are working abroad, if they come back, like in the foundation of ITRI or Hsinchu Science Park, they must be put in the right places and the right functions. I think that is very important secret. This is the result is they are very disciplined people, and I think they changed after this sudden change in their structure representing whole China. Instead of that, losing the force, they have to win the force again. And I think this is one important motivation of the people, to do everything for the wealth, for the being of the people, not for military purposes, for more civil purposes in first line. Of course, militarily, they are also ready to defend themselves. That is also clear. But I think that is not the priority number one. Very important.
Thank you so much. After pandemics, we would like to meet you in Gazi University to speak, to talk same topics in Gazi University after pandemics.
Of course, I'm ready to do that. Thank you very much. I was last year 4 months in Taiwan in the National Hsinchu University. That is the Mülkiye, that is the political science faculty of Ankara University, as you know. I have taught there 4 months, and I have also observed and tried to increase the collaboration of Taiwan with Turkey. With National Health Research Institutes, we are doing it, but in other areas, we should do it also. I think we can learn a lot from this example.
Okay, thank you so much for informative talking, for your speech. Thank you. I am closing this session. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all audience. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.